This is Help Wanted, the show that makes your work work for you. I'm Jason Pfeiffer, editor-in-chief of Entrepreneur Magazine.
And I'm money expert Nicole Laffin. On Tuesdays, Jason and I answer the helpline and help callers solve their work problems.
And on Thursdays, I give you one way to improve your work and build a career or company you love.
And it starts now.
Someone made you a great offer. Maybe they want to help you, or they want to connect you with someone, or they want to discuss an opportunity. But you did not follow up. I ask you, why not? Today, I'm going to show you why this is one of our biggest mistakes and how taking people up on their offers can accelerate your success in ways you never imagined. But first, I'll tell you about the time that I made this mistake with one of the world's most famous comedians. I just shared this story on the Skinny Confidential, big podcast, Skinny Confidential. Hello, anybody who listened to Skinny Confidential and then came over to Help Wanted. It's nice to have you here. So quick recap. A few years ago, I interviewed Jimmy Fallon for the cover of Entrepreneur Magazine. We talked for an hour and a half or 2 hours. It was really great. And then at the very end, as I'm leaving, he shakes my hand and he says, "Hey, if you have any follow-up questions, you're writing the story and you're just thinking, I wish I had asked Jimmy that, just don't hesitate to reach out." And I said, "Thank you, Jimmy. I really appreciate that, but I'm not going to do that because you've already been so generous with your time and I don't want to take any more of it." But then I went to write the story and I got towards the end and I realized I really did have a critical follow-up question. There's something that would have just been so much better if I could ask Jimmy one question. And I agonized over this because I didn't want to annoy Jimmy. I had already taken so much of his time. I already told him I wouldn't take any more, but it was important and he did offer. So I asked to follow up. He called me about a week later and I began by apologizing. I said, "Jimmy, I am so sorry to take more of your time." And his response floored me. He said, "Are you kidding? I always invite people to follow up and you're the only person to do it. That tells me you're thorough, and thorough people are the people I want to talk to." In other words, I thought asking for his time was bad, but he thought it was good. And I would have never known unless I took him up on his offer. As you might recall, I recently asked people to tell me their regrets. We aired something about that last week on Help Wanted, and many of the regrets were premised on not following up. Like these two regrets that I heard from readers of my newsletter. Shannon told me this. She said she always wanted to work with tigers, and she once met the owner of a tiger show who told her, "Write me a letter, tell me why you want to work with tigers, and if it's compelling enough, I will bring you on my team and teach you everything I know." Shannon never did it. I regret it every day, she told me. Here's another one. BP was an aspiring clarinetist. She performed one night and a Grammy-nominated violinist told her, "You are a fabulous player. We should play together again sometime." But BP never reached out and soon gave up on music. Could that have been the big break I was looking for? BP asked me. I'll never know. I have done many versions of this, by the way. I have ignored invitations from famous people, from incredible potential partners, and back when I was single and dating, come on, let's not even talk about it. So before we fix this problem, we must address its root cause. Why do we do this to ourselves? BP explained it simply and perfectly. Here's why she didn't reach out to that violinist. She said, "I thought she was just being nice." Yes, it is that funny and strange phrase, just being nice. I thought they were just being nice. We have all been burned before, so I get it. Someone said we should do this again, but they never called, or colleagues said, "I'm happy to help," and then ignored when you asked. Too many times, politeness masquerades as genuine interest. And this has taught us not to trust offers of help. If we don't follow up, then we won't be disappointed, or worse, feel foolish. But why do we call that being nice? That's not nice. When somebody says they're going to do something and they don't want to do it, that's the opposite of nice. That's, it's deceptive, confusing. Now, look, I know this is emotionally complicated. Maybe those people wanted to help, but they didn't have the time. Or they didn't want to make things awkward by saying that they didn't want to help. Or they wanted to help a little, but not a lot. Still, the point is, you won't know any of that unless you try. And trying is worth it. So here's how to take people up on their offer. Are you hesitating to follow up with someone right now? Before you chicken out, please ask yourself these 2 questions. Question number 1, if they're lying, what's the worst thing that could happen? Truly, what's the worst that could happen? Could they not respond when you follow up? Could they say they're busy? Could they dial back their offer? Is that really so bad? And now here's question 2. What could boost their enthusiasm for you? Here's what I've learned. Many times, people really are making genuine offers, but they're also expecting some upfront effort from you. For example, someone tells you, I'd be happy to help. You should not reach out and say, so where do we begin? How are you going to help me? You should say instead, based on your expertise, here are 3 specific things that I would love your feedback on, and we're going to get it done in an hour. In other words, take the lead, do the planning, have the ideas, and calibrate. Start slow. Maybe someone is happy to help give you writing advice or whatever, but they don't have time to read your whole novel. Or they'll take a look at your pitch deck, but they can't introduce you to every investor they know. If they're being nice, we must be nice in return. Here's how you should think about it. Some math that could motivate you. Let's say 10 people make you an offer. And now let's say 9 of them are just being nice and 1 of them could change your life. What happens if you don't follow up with these people? Well, if you don't follow up with them, then you avoid 9 embarrassing interactions, which is great, and you miss out on something life-changing that you never even knew. And what happens if you do follow up? Well, you might get ignored 9 times, which will sting. That's going to be annoying, but you'll also make the connection that could change everything. Doesn't this math seem worth it? The truth is, the solution to this problem starts with us. We need to stop believing that we're not worth spending time with. Let's start with a different assumption. Here it is. People are genuinely interested in you. And that's because you are genuinely interested. You are worth their time and their attention and their partnership. So take people up on their offers. Otherwise, you'll never know what's on the other side of it. Help Wanted is a production of Money News Network. Help Wanted is hosted by me, Jason Pfeiffer.
And me, Nicole Lapin. Our executive producer is Morgan Lavoie. If you want some help, email our helpline at helpwanted@moneynewsnetwork.com for the chance to have some of your questions answered on the show. And follow us on Instagram at Money News and TikTok at Money News Network for exclusive content and to see our beautiful faces. Maybe a little dance?
Oh, I didn't sign up for that.
All right, well, talk to you soon.